Hey, everybody, we are live. We are back. It is another week of This Week in Pro Wrestling. Jeffrey, introduce yourself.
Once again, it is me, the J to the E to the double F -ry, and welcome back to This Week in Wrestling. Hello, everybody. Hello,
Hey,
Michael.
hey. Oh, it's hot. It's really hot out here.
Yeah,
But
I've
this
got
is
my
Mike Sandoval.
AC and my fan on right now because of the heat wave.
Exactly. And I'm Mike Sandoval. New shirt
That's a very
from,
nice shirt.
from Republic of Lucha in South Pasadena.
Yeah.
Ray Phoenix and Penta are a part of it. And yeah, it's a really nice store. If you're in Southern California, definitely recommend stopping by. It's really nice. They have the artwork of Ray Phoenix right now, so check it out. So, what are we starting with first, Jeffrey?
Okay, so let's go down. I think the biggest thing right now is Samoa Joe, who just a couple months ago we thought was gone forever from WWE, is back, and he is now in NXT. So Samoa Joe is technically not on the main roster anymore, but he is back on WWE programming through NXT. He was brought in sort of like Regal was like losing control of NXT, so he brought in Joe, who will not be the new GM, but he'll be the new enforcer for Regal and laying down the law and reining in the chaos, as it were, that's been going on in the last few weeks. So Joe is back on WWE TV. There were rumors earlier that they were going to bring Joe back. Let's see.
Yeah, I saw those rumors too.
So there was PWI Insider, Fightful were both reporting that Joe was probably going to come back. And Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer said Joe was going to come back, mainly to be a new NXT authority figure. And that's what happened. And but what do you make of this? They released Joe from WWE, but now he's back on NXT. So what do you make of this
It's kind of
whole
odd to me.
situation?
I don't know why they got rid of him in the first place. I never understood that because he was great on the mic, and we understand the reason. Like he has a concussion issue, so he isn't clear to wrestle right now, and I don't know if he's going to be clear to wrestle. But I really never knew why they got rid of him in the first place because he's great on the mic. He knows how to freaking interact with people, and it's really cool when he's on camera. So I don't get it. I really don't understand why they got rid of him.
I mean, he was doing commentary at WrestleMania. That was a great role for him. If maybe it was his contract size, so maybe they wanted to get him on a smaller contract for NXT. I don't know. I if you wanted him to like renegotiate or take a pay cut or something, why not just do that? Or if you wanted to send him to NXT, just send him to NXT for a while, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, but
and that's the thing I don't get. Like, why didn't they just send him to NXT and let him do what he needed to do there?
now, does it feel like based on what happened on NXT, do you think they're maybe going to gradually transition Joe to get back in the ring, maybe as an opponent for Cross or something like that, for
It'd be
Karrion
great.
Cross?
It'd be great. I'd love to see Joe back in the ring, but I don't know what his physical condition is. I don't want him to go back in the ring just to get hurt.
I don't think it's been a while since we saw Joe wrestle, right? Has it been over a year?
Yeah, it's been over a year.
Because he was and look, Joe was having injury issues. He was getting kind of injury prone, sort of before he was sort of transitioning over to that broadcasting announcer role. And look, Joe is, of the last 20 years, Joe would definitely be one of my favorite workers just because I love the way he wrestles in the ring. I love his style, the look, the facial expressions, the sort of aura he puts off. Like everything is just like A plus. And even in later years where it felt like he was slowing down, I think he was still having good matches in WWE overall. He was having great matches in NXT, had great matches with Shinsuke Nakamura, Finn Balor. But I went back and watched some of his matches when he was like U.S. champion in 2019. He was still having routinely good matches. So even as he was getting close to 40 or turning 40, he was still holding his own in the ring. So I don't know. I got the sense from interviews that he did want to get back in the ring, but when you're getting those injuries so close to each other back to back, I don't know if WWE feels he was getting injury prone, but again, like you said, he also had the concussion issue. But I guess we'll see. But either way, I'm okay.
Here's
What?
something. Ringside News.
Yeah.
Posted something showing. Let me share this with everybody.
Don't share Ringside News. I'm just kidding.
Well, WWE NXT viewership up with Samoa Joe return.
Okay. I saw the viewership. So it was the week before they did okay, so here we go.
Yeah.
It's really Pro Wrestling Torch is the one who put out these numbers.
Exactly.
So they went up from 669,000 last week. So this week they went up to just below 700,000. So the whole show was really built around Joe coming down to be the new enforcer. So it definitely did give NXT some renewed interest this week. Second of all, more than anything, I'm just happy Joe's back on TV. That's my main takeaway. And NXT, I think, has had the best show this week so far.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you completely. Because with Joe, I always listen to Busted Open Radio on satellite radio.
Great show. Those guys are
love
awesome.
The show. It's so much fun. And if you haven't had a chance, go over and listen to these guys. They're great. But they were talking to some of the fans who were calling in. And the fans were like, the only reason why I haven't really been watching NXT, but when I heard that Samoa Joe was coming back, a lot of people who were watching who stopped came back and watched.
That's why I think instead of releasing some of these people they released, they should have just put on NXT instead. If you're not able to use them on primetime SmackDown or Raw, NXT can definitely use them. In NXT has proven, even if these guys aren't a good fit for the main roster, you can still find a place for them in NXT. Look at Ember Moon. Look at what she's doing now after she had that kind of not so successful run on the main roster and just didn't have much to do. So let's go over what happened at NXT TakeOver last Sunday. So we both predicted that Bronson Reed and MSK would retain over Legado del Fantasma. So we were right there, right?
Yep.
I think we both predicted Zia Lee would beat Mercedes Martinez, right? Or did you? Okay. Now I picked, I think, Cameron Grimes over LA Knight in the ladder match. But I picked who ended up winning? It was LA Knight.
LA Knight, yeah.
And then LA Knight turned on Ted DiBiase and attacked the legend Ted DiBiase once he got the $1 million title. So that said, I think Cameron Grimes has potential to become a big star because he's got the character and the personality down. He's got the catchphrases. Like, if they can't find something good for him to do on the main roster, like, I just don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
Because he's like, I like entertaining characters too, and he's just got like all that going on.
And I think this whole feud that's going to be started with LA Knight and Cameron Grimes is going to be very entertaining. And I think Cameron Grimes is going to put a spin on it. And LA Knight's going to put a spin on it that's really going to get people to follow this new battle between the both of them.
Okay, Raquel Gonzalez beat Ember Moon, which I think we both expected. Yeah. And then Karrion Kross won the Fatal 5-Way, and then leading into the whole blow up with Regal saying there needs to be a change, and then that led into Samoa Joe coming back to be the new enforcer of NXT. So Man, poor Adam Cole got that. He got the Joe choke
Yep.
last night.
Yeah.
Any other takeaways from NXT Takeover NXT this week for you?
No, I thought it was a great show. I thought it was stronger than Raw was this Monday, and it has been the strongest show on the WWE brand currently. I think
Okay,
that one's fun.
so here was one of the big things on Raw. Like they've been building up the return. Eva Marie, the Evolution. So they've been building up her return for a while. She comes in and she's with Piper Niven, who is an NXT UK superstar, has been with NXT UK for over 2 years. Also competed in the Mae Young Classic beforehand. Did very well in the Mae Young Classic. So she is sort of the new, I guess, bodyguard person for Eva Marie. Instead of wrestling Naomi, Eva Marie had Piper Niven wrestle in her stead. Piper Niven beats Naomi, but Eva Marie takes the credit. So this is kind of like the angle they're going with is Eva Marie is not going to be is having Piper Niven wrestle for her and she takes all the credit. Whatever.
Yeah.
What is here's the other rub. They are not naming Piper Niven, even though she's been Piper Niven in NXT UK and she's been a fixture on NXT UK. She has no ring name yet on Raw. Fightful reported they want to change Piper Niven's name to Dewdrop, like a dewdrop, like a drop of dew. I don't understand that. That's not official. WWE hasn't said what her new ring name yet is, but what is going on here, Michael? Eva Marie, Piper Niven, what the heck?
I do not get what in the world they're doing with anything at this point, because they have been publicizing this evolution
Okay.
and Eva Marie coming back. You see her working out. You see her getting ready to become and taking this business seriously. And when I saw her walk out with Piper, I was just like, "What the hell is this? Where are they going with this?" Like, I don't mind Piper. She's a great wrestler. She has
She is.
a good following in NXT UK, but they don't say her name. They don't say what she's doing. Then I hear this because I didn't hear the whole thing about the dewdrop thing.
Yeah.
It's like it's like we're not stupid as wrestling fans and audience members. We're not dumb. We get it. We get the storylines, but this was just ridiculous. It was at the level of how I feel with Alexa Bliss right now.
Here's what I like. Do they not have faith in Ava Marie getting in the ring? Or do you think they're just trying to build her up getting into the ring?
I really don't know. I don't. Sometimes I feel like they don't really have faith in a majority of the people that are on roster,
Mm-hmm.
even though they could work and they could do a great job. That they don't have faith, because I'm not seeing. And this is an extension to everybody, especially on Raw, with these Charlotte, um Rhea Ripley thing is another
Yeah.
part that I just feel like, and also Lashley and
Nikki
Drew McIntyre
Cross.
and
The
the
Nikki
Nikki
Cross
Cross
thing
thing.
gives me a headache too.
Yeah, and I'm like, we're doing this every friggin' week until the pay-per-view. I do not get it.
I I just don't understand why you built up Ava Marie so much, only to kind of just bait and switch us with Piper Niven, and then you won't even let Piper Niven use her ring name. And then, okay, if you want to give her a new ring name, have that new ring name ready to go.
Yeah.
And just start selling it, whatever it is. And then it felt like they wanted her to be a baby face at first, but I guess because I mean, there's nothing babyface about what she did to Naomi, and now she's taking all the credit for Piper Niven's work. So,
Mhm.
to me, it's kind of like what they did with Alexa Bliss and Nia Jax, but
Yeah.
just a million times worse.
So who's writing at WWE now? Who's writing this stuff? That's what I would like to know.
They have a creative team, apparently.
Because I don't get it. I don't get where the direction is and what they want to do with these characters.
Let's see. I mean,
because they're gonna make Piper into a character,
Right.
but I don't want to see Piper as a character. I want to see Piper as a wrestler coming in. I want to see wrestlers. I'm not into the character game anymore.
Okay. I'm trying to look at who are the writers for Raw. So they have Bruce Pritchard, who's the executive director. Good old Bruce Pritchard. Ryan Ward is a writer for SmackDown. The lead writer for Raw is apparently Jonathan Backstrom. I do not know much about this person.
Mhm.
Ed Koskey is a lead writer for SmackDown. SmackDown is not as bad.
No,
Raw,
SmackDown's not as bad.
and we know Vince McMahon has a lot of, he has final say over all of this. So, okay, now here's my problem with Nikki Cross. Like,
Yeah.
they keep having Nikki Cross just get these sort of like, I don't want to, what's the word? Like just silly wins. Like they're kind of like they're not like she's winning, but they're not really competitive wins, and they don't really make, to me, they're like, Nikki Cross is, I guess, kind of like the face in all this, but they just kind of make her look like a convenient, like, oh, she like the heel just slips on a banana peel and she gets away and she slips away with a nothing win, a kind of a meaningless win. So, but I don't know. I feel like to finally bring Nikki Cross back on TV, I just feel like she deserves a little better than this.
Oh, same here. Same here. Because the Nikki Cross I like is the heel Nikki Cross.
Mm-hmm.
That crazy girl who just wants to rip you apart.
Unpredictable.
Yeah, who just wants to rip you apart. And
Yeah.
I like that Nikki Cross. This like teeny bopper type of girl,
Mm-hmm.
not into it.
And why? And you think she would be involved with Alexa Bliss with everything going on with Alexa Bliss on Raw, but maybe it's for the best. Considering what's happened with Shayna Baszler, maybe it's for the best that Nikki Cross isn't getting involved
Yeah, I
with
agree.
that.
I agree.
Man, Drew McIntyre versus Bobby Lashley again.
Yeah.
Um,
And then they
I'm
turn
kind
it
of,
into
I'm
a
kind of,
three-way tag.
I'm kind of already, yeah. And then, so at least they brought some fresh teams in there, but yeah, I'm sick of McIntyre Lashley right now.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm really just sick of that feud. They should have just made it Kofi Kingston.
I agree. It's getting dull. It does make me want to even look forward to this match. I don't want to see this match at Hell in a Cell this weekend. It doesn't interest me. I'm not excited for it. I'm just bored of it. I'm really
Okay.
truly bored of it. But the
Speaking
one
of,
thing,
okay,
but the one thing I wanted to bring up from Raw this week is
okay,
Kofi Kingston. What are they doing with Kofi Kingston? Because this is already multiple weeks. We've seen MVP talk to Kofi Kingston
okay.
about where he's at.
I think they're trying to tease the idea
Mhm.
of Kofi Kingston maybe turning heel and maybe turning away from the New Day,
Mhm.
because Xavier Woods does have that G4 gig coming up. He's
Yeah.
going to be one of the new hosts of the new G4. So I don't know if that's going to mean time away from WWE for him, because Woods has a lot of sort of prospects going on right now.
Yeah.
But the thing is, they already broke up the Hurt business, and MVP is still with Lashley. So like, what is MVP going to manage Kofi Kingston now if he were to turn heel? I don't know. Do you think the fans want Kofi to turn heel?
I don't know. It's hard to say. The
Do you
whole,
want Kofi to turn heel?
to be honest, the New Day gimmick has been one of the most successful gimmicks that they've had at WWE.
Yeah.
It's become something that's been ingrained into pop culture now.
Mm-hmm.
Would I want to see it end? It may be time to see a change, to
Okay.
see a different direction. And I think the only way we will ever see Kofi Kingston get a belt again and get a chance at a championship belt again is to do the heel turn.
Hmm.
That's how I feel. And at first I heard a rumor that maybe Kofi isn't going to turn heel and it'll be Xavier Woods who turns heel. But that doesn't make sense to me since he's going to be doing a G4 show.
I don't even know if that's going to take him away from WWE, but I guess we'll see. But I feel like they're trying to either tease it or plant the seeds in our mind
Yeah.
that it's possible.
Yeah.
But speaking of Hell in a Cell, so that will be this Sunday, June 20th. This will be a Thunderdome show because the touring does not begin until July 16th for Houston, Texas with SmackDown. But this will be the last pay-per-view event for WWE before they do the live touring again, because Money in the Bank will be in Fort Worth, Texas at the Dickies Arena, and we'll have live fans in attendance. So they'll still be in the Thunderdome this Sunday for Hell in a Cell. So here's what we have. Bobby Lashley versus Drew McIntyre in a Hell in a Cell match. This is Drew McIntyre's last chance for a shot at Bobby Lashley. He cannot get another title shot while Lashley is champion if he loses. Who do you think? What do you have for this?
I think Bobby Lashley's going to win.
Yep.
And it's going to be Cedric could start a brand new storyline that leads up to SummerSlam.
It's not much of a stipulation to me, but yes, I agree. I think Bobby Lashley is going to win this.
Yeah, I agree.
Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair for the Raw Women's title.
Rhea Ripley's going to win. Plain and simple. I think it's too short for her to have the belt right now and to let her lose a belt right now.
I do think Rhea Ripley's going to win, but I will just say a Charlotte Flair win would not surprise me. Okay, for the SmackDown Women's title, this should be a good match. Bianca Blair versus Bayley.
Oh, that one's a good one, and it's a hard one to decide.
Okay.
I think it's gonna be Bianca Belair.
I agree. I think it's also going to be Bianca Belair.
Yeah, and I think it's gonna be to start setting up a rematch between Bianca and Sasha Banks.
Okay.
SummerSlam.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. I don't think they're going to do too many big changes before SummerSlam, honestly.
No,
just because we're still sort of in this sort of pandemic kind of like holding period, really. I'm surprised this is getting the Hell in a Cell. I don't really feel like it's deserving of the Hell in a Cell treatment, to be honest. But Roman Reigns versus Rey Mysterio for the Universal title. Roman Reigns targeted Rey Mysterio. So now we have this Universal title. I guess the one thing this match has going for it, Mike, is it's kind of a fresh matchup. We haven't really seen these two going at it for a title one-on-one. They might have wrestled before, but not for like the Universal title. So there's that. I don't think it needs Hell to be Hell in a Cell, though. You know?
No, I don't think so either. I think it's an overshoot on that one.
So you could have given one of the. I think you could have given Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Hell in a Cell treatment. Yeah. Honestly, that would have made more sense.
It would have made more sense because of the storyline too, where Charlotte has been really getting angry at Rhea because of with the Nikki Cross.
Yeah.
It makes sense to put that in a Hell in a Cell. The Rey Mysterio Roman Reigns fight just doesn't seem like it's a good fit for it.
It's just that when I think Rey Mysterio and getting the most out of Rey Mysterio, especially at his age, I don't think Hell in a Cell. I don't think it's the greatest idea.
And is it bad for me to feel like maybe it's time for Rey Mysterio to like it's time?
No, to start winding down?
Yeah.
No, because even if he's 46, his body has just been through absolute hell. All the surgeries, all the injuries, he kind of had his little run with Dominic. I do think it is time for him to, start winding down, but I mean, that's not my decision. But yeah, we'll see.
46?
I thought it, you think
I
he
thought it
would
was
be older because he's been around.
he's been around
Mysterio
since the
has been around
90s.
forever. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
been around since the mid-90s.
that's what trips me out. It just
Okay. Lastly, we have the match of the century: Alexa Bliss versus Shayna Baszler.
mhm.
Don't you love it? You love to see it.
I I would hope that it would be an actual match. I so hope
I
it would
don't
be an
think
actual
I don't
match.
think it's going to be
It's
much of a
not.
match.
No, it's gonna be a bunch of theatrics. It's gonna be a bunch of pyro or some type of black stuff, or she's not gonna lose feeling in her hand or something like that. And Alexa Bliss will pull off a win. It just, to me, I'm sorry. It make I feel bad for Shayna Baszler. Let's put it that way. I feel real bad for Shayna Baszler.
About the Fiend, is the Fiend going to return?
I really don't know anymore. I really do
Yeah.
not know. But in the match, if we had to pick a winner, I would pick Shayna Baszler, but it's going to be Alexa Bliss because it's going to be some theatrical thing.
Maybe we haven't seen. I don't think we've seen the Fiend since WrestleMania.
No, we haven't. We
So
haven't seen WrestleMania.
okay, so Raw, that's Raw and Hell in a Cell. Okay, so the other big news this week. So AEW will be going to New York City for the first time. AEW is also going to be touring with full fans in attendance starting in July in Miami, and then going on a multiple city tour. But they will be going to New York City in September for a special episode of Dynamite called the Dynamite Grand Slam, and it will be held at the Arthur Ashe Tennis Stadium in Flushing, New York. Tickets go on sale July 16th. This stadium has previously hosted the U.S. Open. It has a capacity of 23,000 for tennis. Retractable roof. Okay, so what do you think of Dynamite going to a tennis stadium in New York?
I think it's great. I think it's perfect. Just by going by when from like Dignity Health has a tennis stadium right next to the soccer stadium,
Mm-hmm.
and they have boxing events in there, and
Uh-oh.
I've been there when they've had boxing at that tennis stadium, and it's perfect for something like this. It really is. It's small. You would think it would be big, but it's small. It's compact, and the seats are really like up there. So every ticket, and I can guarantee, if you're gonna go to New York or you're in New York, you get a ticket for this thing, you're gonna have a really good view at some great wrestling. And I think it's a smart idea, and it's a great idea.
I'm trying to get a picture of the stadium so everyone can see what it's like inside. Can I get this? This is I mean, this is not a huge stadium. It's basically, I would call it kind of like a mini stadium. You know what I mean?
And that's what tennis stadiums are. They're mini stadiums. That
Here we go.
Let me. I got a. Oh, there you go. You got a link.
If you want to.
Yeah,
Okay,
let me.
so when I first saw that it was a stadium, I was like, "What?" Okay, but then I saw, okay, this is a tennis stadium. We're talking about 23,000. So
Mm,
even if it's like half full, that's still like a decent sized crowd.
yeah.
So
Well, imagine if they fill this stadium up because it is a lot bigger than the tennis center out here by Dignity Health.
In New York, which has a nice sort of like New York is a good wrestling hotbed, and
Mhm.
I bet they could get it close to full
Yeah.
in New York, because they'll have fans from New York City, probably from New Jersey. They were supposed to go to the Prudential Center in
Hmm.
Newark, and I think they sold it out, but that was they had to cancel because of the
Yeah.
pandemic. So if they have some good names and a good card for this, I think they will sell it out.
Aren't they still going to Prudential Center, but at a later date?
I think they do plan on going to. I think Tony Khan talked about that.
Yeah.
I think the plan is for them to go back or to go to Prudential Center
Hmm.
once things start picking up.
Yeah. They say September 15th, but what day is
Okay,
Grand
Tony
Slam?
Khan is saying Prudential Center in September.
Yeah.
September September 15th. So I guess they have time to plan that out. So yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. So I guess that's where they're gonna be.
But
It's a good idea. Like if you're gonna, and it's smart too. Instead of going to Madison Square Garden or one of these arenas, do something smaller that's more intimate and really build up the fan base in New York since you haven't been in New York yet. I think it's a smart idea.
so this is like I guess this is like the Queens area.
Yes, it's in Queens. It's right by the new Shea Stadium where the Mets
Okay,
play.
and this is all this is called the world's largest tennis specific
Yeah.
stadium. So I think they'll get a decent crowd. I don't know if they'll sell it out, but I think they'll do okay because I think they've done well like everywhere they've gone. And Dave Meltzer reported they outsold AEW Dynamite tickets are outselling WWE in Miami and Charlotte, according to Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Radio. Let's see. Okay, so here's some other upcoming AEW shows. They're doing Road Rager, Fighter Fest on Wednesday, July 7th. Fighter Fest will be back night 1 and 2 on July 14th and July 21st. And then we will have Fight for the Fallen on July 28th in Charlotte. So AEW is going all in here.
Yeah. And it's gonna be interesting to see as they go on the road and they start building up, what is it gonna look like in comparison to what WWE has done in that in that early timeline as well.
I
Even though
think
it's hard to compare.
I think they're doing a lot of those other than this New York show. I think they're mainly in the southern states, and I think they're going to do well in
Yeah,
those areas.
I think so too.
Let's see. And WWE is like WWE is starting in Texas as well, but I think AEW is starting in Florida.
I really can hardly wait till they hit the West Coast.
Okay. I'm trying to look for Dynamite for this week. Uh, let's see. Okay, so
Is it
this
this
is
week or next week when they have the Jungle Boy match?
that'll be the 26th.
Oh, okay.
So that's going to be a Saturday show. So yeah, the playoffs have really thrown everything out of whack with Dynamite.
Yeah.
Poor Dynamite.
Isn't this Dynamite a Saturday show as well?
Let's see. Look at the TNT schedule. I believe Dynamite is tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
So it's Friday, Saturday, and then I think it's going to go back to Wednesday.
No, that's good.
So Friday. Okay, so that's. So this Friday is the 18th. So Dynamite is on at 9 o'clock this Friday on TNT. So then the following week, it's on Saturday the 26th. That will be the Jungle Boy match.
Okay.
This week it's on Friday, and then I think after the 26th, they will be back on Wednesday night. Is my understanding. So yeah, but yeah, they really need to get back on Wednesday night soon.
Yeah, they do.
Okay, so here's what we have. We have the MMA rules cage fight: Jake Hager and Wardlow, Cody Rhodes and Brock Anderson versus QT Marshall and Aaron Solo. Jim Ross will interview Andrade. Penta, Eddie Kingston, and Kazarian will face Matt Jackson and the Good Brothers. Orange Cassidy versus Cesar Bononi. And Darby Allin versus Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page. And he will not receive help from Sting. So Sting is going to stay behind for this one, and it will be a handicap match. Okay. So what do you think about Dynamite this week? Do you think they're just in a holding pattern right now? What is going on with Dynamite and AEW?
It seems like a holding pattern to me, but there's a few matches in there that I'm looking forward to. Definitely want to see the Darby Allin 2-on-1.
How
as
do you
far as
think
the
they're
other
going to
side.
do the MMA cage for?
See, that's the one thing I'm not sure how they're going to do that. I don't have a clue unless they build a separate stage somewhere out in the parking lot and they flip it over and they just shoot it, or they do that double ring type of thing. One ring is going to be a wrestling ring, and the other one's going to be a UFC fighting ring or a MMA ring. I really do not know. It's going to be interesting to see how they do pull this off.
Okay, so I think this is going to be another taped show, and
Yes, it is.
basically I think the next Jacksonville show with Jungle Boy versus Omega, that will be a live. That will be live.
Yes.
So I think that's kind of what the plan is. Uh, which I think it was good. Holding off that match
Mhm.
to put the world title match as a live TV match was a smart move.
Yes, it
And
was.
they have given more time to develop the Omega versus Jungle Boy storyline to give it more time on TV. It's like a mini feud, you know?
Hmm.
Every
I
once
agree.
in a while, like back in the day, like in WCW, you'd have like a mini feud where they build up like a world title match for primetime TV, like for WCW Saturday night or whatever. And like I remember Ron Simmons versus Cactus Jack. So to me, this is kind of like that, but they're giving it a couple more weeks of build up. So I
Hmm.
think that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Or almost like a Clash of the Champions type title match as well.
And it makes sense. It makes sense to do that.
I think that'll be a good one. Okay, MJF has apparently started his own cryptocurrency. What do you think about cryptocurrency? And now MJF is getting in on this.
Um, I invest in cryptocurrency. I own
Okay,
a few different coins in crypto. It's not bad, but I don't know what MGF is. I haven't even read that story. Is it a real? Is it a work or is it real?
it is real.
Mm,
People have actually bought. Like, I'll send you the link. He's calling it dollar sign MJF or MJF coin.
MGF coin.
Yeah,
It's interesting. I've never seen a
you
wrestler
can
actually
buy.
use it.
Apparently, you can buy it right now.
Can you?
Yeah,
On where?
rally.io.
Oh, okay. Oh, I just saw it right now. It's at $9.19. Did not know that.
Apparently, it went up very quickly.
No kidding. It was at what is it? 68 cents at one point. And now it's at $9 and
What is cryptocurrency anyway?
um it a lot of it is it's a new form of transaction, financial transaction
Okay,
in money. Some of them are based into some really interesting technology like AMP. AMP is a new cryptocurrency that just it's been around for a few months, but it's starting to take steam right now. And with AMP, what it makes it quicker for you to make transactions. Like if you're paying with Bitcoin for an item, it makes the transaction smoother and doesn't take as long. It's almost immediate from you getting from Bitcoin to even
but is
the person
everyone
paying the
accepting
dollar.
these cryptos?
Not everybody, but it's growing. A lot of stores are starting to jump on board. A lot of sports facilities are starting to jump on board. You can buy Oakland A's tickets. You can buy Dallas Mavericks tickets with certain crypto like Doge. Doge is being used with the Dallas Mavericks to purchase tickets.
It
So
sounds like reward points.
it's kind
Sounds
it
like credit card, like frequent flyer miles, basically, or like when you join a hotel like rewards programs and you get points for like a hotel stay. It kind of sounds like that.
it, it's a little different because it's actual a value to it, and the way the value goes up, it's at how much coin is actually available and is mined and in circulation.
Okay.
So like some of them have a limit that once that limit's done and there's no more coin until
Okay.
somebody sells it. There's one like Safe Moon where like if you buy the coin and you sell it, that coin is destroyed and the money that the share that comes into back to the company gets shared.
Hmm.
So it really depends on what which one's your big going on. But like Bitcoin and is one because of the blockchain, and the blockchain technology is actually what drives it. And there's a lot of there's ledgers within the blockchain, so that you're able to track everything that you do on it can be tracked and can be followed. If you purchase something on Bitcoin, your IP address is in there, how you bought it. So if anything illegal, they could always look for you. But it
Okay,
has
so MJF says my crypto coin is better than yours, and you know it. So you can buy this MJF coin if you're interested. Check rally.io and check MJF's Twitter for MJF coin. So if you're into cryptocurrency, that is something MJF has going on right now.
And my thing is, how much is he getting off of this?
I don't I don't know if it's, you see, I get this is his enterprise, is it not? Or is it, or do you think someone's just,
I think he's a part of it. I don't think it's
you think
all
he's
of it.
just a front man and this is not really his gig?
It could be.
See, he announced the launch himself, so I don't know. I don't know what he's getting out of it and how much. I get the sense he's maybe put a little bit more into this, but I'm not sure.
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
so just to let you know, it was today that it was
Yeah, it
released.
was today, just a
So
few hours ago.
at 11 a.m. it was at $2.50. It is now at $9. It was at 5 p.m. It was at $9.69, and right
Okay.
now it's at $9.22.
Okay. So another bit of news. So Vice TV, the home of Dark Side of the Ring, will be airing a documentary on China later tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is the first ever documentary on the WWE Hall of Famer and former DX member, former women's champion, former Intercontinental champion. So this is an authorized documentary about the rise and fall of China. China tragically passed away in 2016 after a fatal overdose. It was directed by Sunshine Superman's Morris Strauss. Let's see what else. Her real name was Joni Lore. She was once engaged to WWE's Triple H, Paul Michael Levesque.
So
She was also in a relationship with Shawn Michaels. Excuse me, not Shawn Michaels, Sean Waltman, X Pac.
Yeah.
So you had something to say about this documentary. It's the first ever authorized documentary about China. So what do you think about this, Michael?
I'm looking forward to seeing this documentary. I mean, I grew up watching wrestling, so I remember when China came in and
She
everything,
was
and
a
I
big
follow.
star.
He was a really big star, and I always feel, and I've seen her before when we were doing covering things on Muse, and I'll see her walk the red carpet. Never got a chance to talk to her,
Hmm.
but yeah, I'm really fascinated in what happened and how her story, how everything went went to the way it is. It's like she's somebody who is definitely missed, and I think she would have been easily. She would have been even. I think this would have helped in explaining things, but it's like I'm so looking
At the
forward to
very
it.
least, WWE seems more open to, I guess, highlighting her now, and she was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame as part of DX a couple years ago. So there was that,
Yeah.
at least, and unfortunately, her life just took a turn for the worst,
Hmm.
um, and it was a sad, tragic story, but
It really was.
at her height, she was a big star, and she was like one of the faces of the Attitude Era in WWE. And I mean, she was she won the Intercontinental title, and
Yeah.
I guess she was the first woman to become Intercontinental champion and hold a traditionally male singles title in a male division.
Well, and that's something that we haven't
Yeah.
seen in a long time either from WWE, where you had a mixed match.
Right. And then I was at WrestleMania 17, and that was the night she won the women's title from Ivory
Hmm.
in Houston, Texas. So actually, I did buy the Elite Mattel Elite China figure from that event, just because some sentimentality, since that was one of the WrestleManias I got to attend live. So I think it's great that Vice is doing stuff like this. So they're not just, this is not Dark Side of the Ring. This is a separate documentary project. So I'm glad that we're seeing stuff like this get done, and I hope it's something we'll see more of in the future.
You didn't get since you do cover a lot of Vice stuff, especially with Dark Side of the Ring. They didn't give you
Not for this one. I asked for screeners for Dark Side, and they said they were supposed to give me Brian Pillman, but it was not ready for some reason at the time. But I did interview the creators of the show. But the first season of Dark Side, it's currently on a break, and then they're going to be coming back, I guess, later this year for the rest of the season. So there's still Dark Side of the Ring season 3 more. But this is not, since this is separate from Dark Side of the Ring, I hope this means they'll be doing more wrestling stories and wrestling documentaries for people like China
so
to give them some attention and spotlight their stories.
I agree.
Just because what happened to China was tragic, but she was a trailblazer in a lot of ways, and she was a pretty groundbreaking star. So I think it's good to recognize her, what contributions she made to wrestling, and show the good along with the bad. Because I mean, this will be about both her rise and fall.
Right.
So
right, and on the West Coast still, if you get an East Coast feed, on the West Coast it'll be at 6 o'clock. For the East Coast feed, 9 o'clock here in LA. If you get a West Coast feed, it'll be at 9 o'clock. So yeah, it's something definitely. If you're a big wrestling fan and you like China, you like the faction during that time. It was under DX, correct? At the time when she was part of that.
DX, she was paired with the late Eddie Guerrero for a while. She was the Mamacita to Latino Heat. Then she was on her own. She was women's champion for a little while, and then after that, she had the falling out with WWE because Triple H got with he was engaged to China once, but he married the boss's daughter, and China, and that just sort of kind of just
spiraled out of.
We're gonna see more about it on this project, but
I agree.
Is there, if Vice were ever to do something like this for another pro wrestler, is there someone who you think would make a good story like this?
Eddie Guerrero. And to go into his life and talk about the Guerrero family, a family of wrestlers.
Yeah, you could really get into the whole Guerrero family, really.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a whole family of wrestlers. But yeah,
I think his story is really fascinating and his rise, especially with his whole family being wrestlers.
Chavo Guerrero Sr., and Hector Guerrero too.
Yeah. Mondo Guerrero. I mean, it would be a fascinating story to see.
Okay, so Vice TV, if you ever watch this show, maybe something on the Guerrero family, or Eddie Guerrero, as well as spotlighting, coming from the Guerrero family as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other major points for you for this week?
The one thing I did want to talk about was SummerSlam ticket sales.
Oh, okay.
I know we're going to touch about it. I thought we had it on our show notes, but I wanted to bring up the seating chart. I was able to log in to see because I checked.
Oh, did they change it at all, or is it still the same?
They changed it a lot.
Oh, wow.
Because at one point, tickets were like from $300 to $500. I mean, to $5,000. And currently,
I was surprised. Tickets for this event are expensive, aren't they?
Oh, they're really expensive. Like, if they have a front row seat, one seat, row A, seat 6, $5,150 plus fees. If you're looking,
I didn't even pay that much for WrestleMania floor seats.
section 16, row J.
Okay, granted, I went to a WrestleMania in 2009 in Houston, Texas, but a lower deck seat was like, it was not, it was like, I want to say like $130-ish.
Mhm.
Like it wasn't, and that was at Reliance Stadium, and that wasn't too bad really
Yeah.
for a big event like that,
Yeah,
even
like
in
floor
2009.
seats, section 16, row J, $320.
I feel like they're pricing themselves out for this event.
And here's the thing:
That
if you want a
here's my
seat,
okay.
section 123, row 14, $700.
That's ridiculous.
Official platinum. I guess it's the package that they have.
That's
But still,
for one seat, or is that?
and
Wait,
it's a
what?
platinum. Platinum
What do you
tickets
get
are.
for? What do you get for a platinum seat, though, Mike?
Let's see. Let's find out. Let's click in this.
Here's my problem. We're coming out of a pandemic. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you should be trying to do everything you can to fill this stadium up.
Yeah.
Do you think they're here's my question. Do you feel like they're trying to sell a lot of these seats to the casinos and hotels?
They could be.
And they're
Or
expecting, do you think they're expecting the casinos and hotels to kind of get these to maybe either sell them at a lower rate or sell them in like guest packages or something?
Well, I know the Mandalay Bay is working with this arena.
Okay.
They're supposed to build a bridge from Allegiant Stadium. I don't know if they
Okay.
completed it or it's under construction. A bridge from Mandalay Bay to Allegiant Stadium.
Okay.
And if it is going to be like something they're going to work a package in, I would think it would be Mandalay Bay. But these prices are ridiculous. So $550 in section 224, 400 in section 324. The cheapest seat that I found, let me see if I can pull it up.
Is in the nosebleeds.
And even then, it's a 350.
That's ridiculous. Like, I guess my upper price limit would be about $200.
There it goes. Last row in section 414, row 20 is $45.
Who are they expecting to fill up the floor seats? Like celebrities and their families and stuff? Like,
I really do not know. I do not have a clue.
but that I don't get why you price yourself off for an event like this. Other than that, is it because it's Las Vegas, or what do you think is happening here?
I really don't know. But this is the pre-sales happening now, and these are the prices I'm seeing for pre-sale. I'm curious to see what tomorrow's prices look like as they open things up.
Now, I'm just saying, I've been to WrestleMania and I've paid for WrestleMania tickets, and they were not. And WrestleMania tickets are not this expensive.
Yeah.
So, if you were to pay for a ticket, like what is like your ceiling for
wrestling?
If this is for a wrestling event that's probably going to be as big as WrestleMania.
Like I wouldn't, if I was getting on the floor, second row.
Okay.
I would go $250.
Okay. I can swallow that, but like, you know, 700 for like upper level. I just don't get that at all.
I just don't understand that.
Like I need, you know, I'm gonna need like $700. I want some ticket and autograph stuff, you know? I want some
merch with it.
I want some merch. I want a championship belt, man.
No kidding.
I want a title replica for that much, you know?
Because I think the title replicas are even cheaper than the
Yeah, yeah, you could get a belt replica for less than these seats. Yeah, I'm surprised.
Here's the thing: if these prices remain at where they're at,
okay,
you're gonna see people selling them for cheaper.
Okay, and I think tomorrow is the official ticket sale date, I believe.
Yes, that's at 10 a.m.
But they have been having pre-sales.
Yes.
But yeah, this is just well out of my range.
Yeah, like
I just could not see myself. Again, I paid for WrestleMania tickets and they were not this much.
Yeah. And I like I was ready to go early since we're gonna be
Okay.
there for CinemaCon
Yeah.
already, and I'd already sort of like, okay, maybe I'll go a little earlier, get some tickets, and check out SummerSlam, but not at these prices.
Well, maybe if there are hotels,
Hmm.
who are doing some sort of group discount or something,
Yeah.
I can see, and maybe these are for hotel blocks
Hmm.
and something like that. I
Yeah.
don't know what, but I don't know what the system is here.
Yeah, because like
But
official platinum, which they don't really
but
say
look, we're
what.
coming out of a pandemic.
Yeah.
Like, I know some people are going to want to go on trips and stuff like that and going to want to, but people have been suffering through this pandemic, and
Okay.
I don't know how many people.
Yeah,
Okay, here's what
I
you
got
get.
a pop up. Please note that the $1,000 ticket includes a commemorative 2021 SummerSlam chair.
That's not good enough.
Exactly, that you'll sit in
I want to
and
sit
take
that
home
for
with you.
$1,000. I want to sit next to Vince McMahon. I want to go to Gorilla.
Why is it bad that I would want to sit next to either Sasha Banks, Liv Morgan, or have a conversation with Randy Orton?
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
come on. Or have a
I
conversation with
want to. I want to
one of the
have
rest.
for $1,000. I want to have dinner with Randy Orton. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I would even like to friggin' sit across from Roman Reigns, have dinner, and talk with him about the business and about him and how from when he started to where he's at now.
Would I
It'd be
want a
freaking
commemorative chair? Yes, but I
mhm.
mean, the commemorative chair, like you have to lug that around.
Yeah,
And then like I wouldn't pay $1,000. I would pay like 75, maybe $100 if it means getting the chair.
yeah,
Like, yeah, throw in the chair.
mhm,
I'll do the extra clams for the chair.
yeah. But even at the
Wow.
most, 500, I would have thought about it.
But my thing is people are suffering from this pandemic.
Hmm.
I could be wrong. I just can't see why people are going to be rushing to pay these ticket prices.
Yeah, and there's
Unless
still a lot of people out of work. That's one thing
yeah.
I don't get. Still a lot of people out of work. $5,000 for a ticket. And even if it came with additional stuff, it's still high to me. Because like season tickets for that same stadium, let's just put it this way: for SoFi Stadium for a Rams season ticket in the 400 level
Okay.
was $800 for the season for the season seat. The PSL was 2,000, and that's $2,800 for a full season of football.
Is how much
That's
for a whole season?
2,800,
So that
$2,800. One event,
so that's a whole
one
season.
yeah, that's a whole season. One event, 5,000, and that seems kind of high for me.
I just can't wrap my head around it.
Uh-uh. Like that's why I say like if it was a 200, 250, even 300, maybe 4, I would be fine. It would be a little stretch and it's a lot of money still, but
That would
$5,000?
that be like the upper that would be like the upwards of what I would pay, but I wouldn't want to be like in the first few rows for that
Yeah,
much.
exactly.
Mm.
Exactly. That's why I'm curious to see what the prices is going to be like when they open it to the public. If it's like this on pre-sale and it looks like they're only selling this $45, $60 are on the 400 level,
Mhm.
it I'm curious.
I remember a college buddy of mine. This was back in 2007. We went to a SmackDown. We had decent seats in the lower deck. They blocked those seats out, so then we had to get our seats changed, and they ended up putting us on the floor in the fourth row. So, and these were like prime seats, basically. Like we could see, like we were right there, and we could like get all the action from
Mhm.
these seats.
Yeah.
And and I don't think we paid a ton for those seats. And this was like we were getting John Cena, Batista, Undertaker, Shawn Michaels on this night in Texas.
Mhm.
So, we got our money's worth with
Yeah.
these tickets. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Like the most I've ever
and
spent maybe to see
we got
a
moved from lower level to like the floor, to the
yeah.
front of the floor.
Yeah, it's like the cheapest I've ever. Well, not even the cheapest. The most I've ever paid for 2 tickets for a WWE event was like $90 with
Right.
service fees.
Okay.
I've
So yeah.
never, and those were good seats. They were in the club section at Staples Center, and I've even had bought one ticket for myself where it was like $50, and I was like third row from the ring.
I
And
will be curious to see if they can sell this event out this week. I don't think
yeah,
they
I'm
will.
I'm curious, and curious to see the pricing
I
tomorrow.
wouldn't bet money on it, but if I were to make a bet, I don't think they're going to sell out this week.
I'd rather
Tomorrow.
bet money on other things in Vegas than that one because at least I know I'm gonna win some money.
Okay. Well, but maybe they're going to have special hotel packages where you can get a SummerSlam ticket. So maybe that's something.
Yeah.
Maybe that's something to look into in the next few weeks. Since we
Mhm.
are planning to go out there for CinemaCon, but
Yeah.
I am not planning to go to SummerSlam if it means paying
Yeah.
a
It
thousand dollars.
it means I get there on Monday instead of Friday or Saturday.
Yeah. Okay.
Unless we could convince WWE to give us press passes and we could go interview some people, get a complimentary ticket for us to go review it and talk about it. Maybe then we'll go.
I'll look into that. We'll see. We'll
Yeah,
see what happens. But
exactly.
okay. Any other items for this week?
To be honest, that's everything. I think
Okay.
that's
Great.
everything that I've seen so far.
Okay. So you can check me out on Twitter. I am at Wheeljack80 83.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
at
it.
Wheeljack83.
It's the
I'm
heat.
sorry.
It's the heat. It's the heat.
We have a
It's
heat
hot.
wave over here in SoCal right now, folks.
It
Okay.
feels like Florida right
Um,
now.
my other wrestling podcast is the 411 Wrestling Interviews podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, and Google Play. If you go to 411mania.com right now, you can check out my reviews of Loki and Fast 9. And I have other reviews coming up for Luca and Black Widow. I did just get my Black Widow invite, and hopefully, if all goes well, Michael, we're going to take you to Black Widow as well.
You.
A little less than 2 weeks. So yeah,
Yeah.
and yeah, I think we can talk about that because there's no embargo on that. So yeah, Black Widow review coming up, and also we had the Loki
The Loki
review the other
block
night. So check that
yeah,
out on
block.
Muse TV.
Yeah. And you can always find me here on Muse TV. We had a great we're gonna be doing a review of Summer of Soul, which is Questlove from the Roots new documentary. Got to see that yesterday. A lot of fun. Definitely catch it. There's no embargo on it, so I could say that. And then we have some great stuff coming up in the near future and a couple of changes that we're going to be doing here in Muse that we wanted you to know about. So we'll be saying that around July, probably August. August, we're just finalizing some things. But hey, another thing before we leave, don't forget our sponsors. We got to say thank them. Tascam. They provide us with the soundboard to make the sound buttery smooth as much as we possibly could. It is the Tascam Model 12. It is a great board for podcasting and more, especially if you're looking for something where you do not just podcasting, but you also do live recorded music and a bunch of other things. I mean, this board is amazing. We love it. And Tascam is celebrating their 50th anniversary. So check them out at tascam.com. And we'll see you next time here on This Week in Pro Wrestling.